Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Hazer. I'm here to talk about DudeManBro and the fact that he has been removed from the Smite Pro League after qualifying in due to misconduct. Let's get into it. Let's just look at some of these things. I didn't pull that up yet, have I? Anyway, Gilded Gladiators carry DudeManBro has been banned indefinitely from all Smite esports leagues due to in-game misconduct. We'll read the ruling. Start of each new season of SPL, our league operations team does a full conduct review for all incoming players. Review intended to make sure they've not been naughty. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this is also supposed to happen for SCC. Let's just go through the whole thing before we pick holes in it. During this conduct review for incoming players who qualified for SPL via the promotion tournament, League Ops team discovered an alt account that belonged to DudeMan, and it showed that it had been suspended and permanently banned for repeated toxicity and harassment. And basically, you can't be banned on a Smurf. You can't have a Smurf get banned and still be allowed to compete in Smite in the competitive scene. That's how it works. So there you go. He's been banned from SPL and all other Smite esports leagues for season 10. It's an indefinite ban. Can appeal and can be unbanned, and then just shows the rules. Basically, don't be a naughty person. So I meant to make this video before, and I was gonna predict that my original prediction, I know it's easy to say this now, was gonna be that something like this would happen. They would investigate after all these reports. They would investigate DudeManBro. They would find another account where he had said or was saying naughty things, and he would be removed from the league. But yeah, I mean, I guess I was right, but I have no proof of that now. But I promise that's what I was gonna say, and it is what happened. There's not a whole lot of detail here on like what the account was, when it was banned, things like that. But yeah, let's go through. So there was a lot of stuff on Twitter from people like Vonnie saying that a screenshot of DudeManBro barely scrapes the surface of the things he actually did, from routinely calling black players the hard R, to being grotesquely anti-black on Twitter, to saying the N-word and pretending to be black, and as recent as months ago, be racist to the LATAM players. He purged his Twitter. So there's lots of things and lots of people saying things around, like, it seemed that everybody who used to play on console at the same time as DudeMan was pretty much in agreement that he said a lot of fucked up stuff and wasn't a particularly nice person to play with. Let's see what else we've got. I don't even know why I keep this one up. I don't know who defines what. He's just being silly. He's just an edgy conservative teenager in a lot of these. I don't know how old all these screenshots are, but one thing that you can, it's maybe a sweeping generalization, but generally these people who are out there saying, like, coming up for excuses and saying that people should be allowed to say words like that, they're not saying it themselves. They're not people who just argue for the academic point of arguing. They then tend to go and say it in silly ways in private rather than in public. And it wouldn't surprise me if DudeMan was the same. There were also a lot of screenshots of DudeMan talking about political stuff like abortions and things like that, which I think are like largely irrelevant. You know, it's my political views. I hope I'm pretty clear about them, but I'm pretty left-leaning, and you know, I think that people saying that abortion is a crime are, you know, wrong morally and scientifically, and they're just being silly. But like, having conservative views and talking about them publicly shouldn't be a reason to be not considered for a job playing in the Smite Pro League. I just don't think it's fair. But obviously, misconduct within the game makes a lot of sense. And DudeManBro made a new Twitter, new account for Smite, and bettering myself and my health, learning from my mistakes and starting anew on a fresh slate. The future is brighter than ever, and can't wait to see what I can accomplish this year. didn't last very long because he then got kicked out of the league. But he takes ownership of it. Can only blame myself for the ban. Was assured it was not because of anything Twitter related and only because of a permaban Smurf account due to poor conduct in ranked. It's a phase 1 ban, so hopefully my appeal after will allow me to compete again, grinding with a much better attitude and outlook on the game. Ever since the new season, I've been much better with my behavior, and I continue ever since the new season. So that doesn't mean only season 10. Much better in my behavior, and I will continue to improve about it. Can't dwell on the past, can only look to what I can change in the future, which I think is a good way to look at it. It's a nice message. Anyway, that's all the stuff. Maybe I missed some screenshots. I know there was a lot of old screenshots, and there's a lot of weird discourse going around on the Smite community now after this stuff coming out. There seems to be people sort of on three sides. There's people who are like, I'm happy he's banned and he deserves it and he should never have been able to compete in the first place, blah, 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 blah. And then you've got the people who are kind of like, what aboutery-ing? There's been mention of Biakai for some reason and Haddix on their former misdemeanors, and people saying that those calling out DudeManBro are being hypocritical if they support others who might have also said bad things at times. And then there's like weird people who are just defending DudeMan, but there's very few of those, just a few like Twitter trolls. But it seems like most people at least are pretty much in agreement that he should have been suspended. There's conversation around, should he have even been allowed to compete in the first place? If they're able to do this check, I don't know how much effort this check takes on the SPL players, or how this check differs from the check that they supposedly, or at least they used to do in game checks, game account checks for SEC players. I remember a number of SEC players got warned mid-season at some point when they did the check on chat logs and Smurf accounts and things like that. But yeah, there's questions there around, could they be more proactive in this kind of thing? I don't know. I think I am very much on the side of rehabilitation over punishment, but I also have very little doubt that DudeMan has been like a cunt recently. This isn't one of those where there's these old screenshots and then there's been a clear change in behavior and a pattern of growth and doing better and behaving better. I don't think that's really the case here. I hope that it is going forward. DudeMan's talked about how he's been better this year. That's only been, we're in March. We're in the start of March. So 3 months of better behavior, not even in season 10, is what he's claiming to have had. So must be aware that he's done bad stuff prior to now. And I think that's the crux of it, right? I don't think you should punish people for things that I don't think that you should continue having stupid shit that you said when you were a teenager come back to you all the way into your adult life, like 10 years down the line. I think if you grow and you get better, then we should forgive people, and that's what we should be doing here. I think there's this social justice movement, which is great, and I agree with general social justice, like fuck people who don't believe in trans rights. Let's not give them money. Let's not support those people. Let's not include them in our groups. Fuck them. But I do think that, God, I'm gonna dig myself in a hole here because this is Hayvering for a reason, right? I haven't really thought out what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, it's the same way I feel about prison. Prison should be a tool for reformation of people, and I think it's the same thing which we should be looking for in society. If we It's like what you see with SOT, right? SOT says stupid shit sometimes, but like he is open about learning and trying to get better and when he makes a mistake and is called out on it, I do genuinely think he tries to learn from it. And we're all only products of our upbringing and our surroundings anyway. It's very easy to say that if you grew up in DudeManBro's situation, you would be a much better person than he is and do better things and not believe the things he believes, but there's not much evidence of that, to be honest. And we should all be aiming to be the best people we can be and help others be the best people they can be, rather than just infinitely punishing people. This isn't me saying that I don't agree with DudeManBro's ban, by the way. I do. I think he was almost certainly being a bad dude in ranked and outside of ranked. I think he probably still has pretty stupid views on on racial slurs and things like that. I haven't seen much evidence of growth as of yet. So I do think it was correct to remove him from the league. But I'm just saying that if over the next 6 months he grows and becomes a better person, I don't think we should continue to, I mean, you don't have to forget, but you can forgive, you know. But not my place to say whether you should forgive someone, I suppose. I'm just fucking talking into the void here. What am I going on about? Anyway, good news about this is we'll probably get Stu back in the league, huh? Stu had a great world championship, great year last year, really good player, good personality, and I would be glad to have him back in the league. I'm not sure what other ADCs you might consider if you're the Glads. There's no one that really jumps out at me, to be honest. I would think I would just move forward, unless maybe you move Snoopy out of mid and into ADC and you look at someone in mid. But who do you look at? I don't really know. I don't feel like there's anyone that cracked. Who was the best mid laner outside of the ones who qualified in the tournament? Let me bring up we're truly Hayvering now. Let me bring up the list of players. Was it Joshi? Was Joshi the best mid laner who didn't qualify? Is this the one with the teams? Sorry. Let's have a look. Who have we got? I don't think Crimson had a very good event, so it wouldn't be him. Benny and Snoopy already made it. Streak Up was decent. Jangaru, not that good. Nehu, not that good. Joshi, I would say probably would be the one I would go for. Ray Shadow was better than I thought in Ray Shadow's defense. XD and Vi. No, neither of them. I think it would have to be like you would look at from the tournament, maybe Streak Up Joshi, maybe you look at Crimson just because he has a history of being a great player. So that's the other option, I think. And ADC wise, there's nobody on that list, I don't think, who really compares to Stu. Who are you looking at there? Like Wowie again? No offense, Wowie, but didn't have a great event with the Sages. Zen, Titans didn't really perform as people thought they would. Warchi, get the set out there. King of Spain, becomes the king of the SPL. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, there's no one that inspiring in the ADC role, I think. I think Davey actually had did I just say that? Davey had a good event. It surprised me a little bit with how well he played at that event, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. We get Stu back. That's the upshot of it all. And Hi-Rez have investigated and done their work. But yeah, I guess the questions are, could they have... What's going on with the checks on players in the SCC if someone can have a banned Smurf and it's not known about? Is there some kind of manual check? Is there a way that they can add this into their SCC checks? One other thing I wanted to say is you've got to understand that it's not really in Hi-Rez's interests or the Pro League's interest to super thoroughly investigate these players and get them out of the league, because how many of the SCC and SPL players do you think? I think SPL you're probably safer, but how many of the SCC players do you think have not said something fucked up or gotten in trouble on a Smurf or whatever? I think a lot of them have, at least. I don't know. I have little faith that if they did an in-depth review on every SCC player, I know that some of them, I mean, at least a couple of SCC players for this year have already been banned and have appealed those bans and been allowed to play comp again. But yeah, and you've got to understand that it's not in Hi-Rez's or the Smite competitive scene's best interest to super thoroughly investigate every player. So maybe that's why this has slipped through the net, because they don't want to be pouring resources into this. And if they pour resources into this, it means that the talent pool gets smaller. The competitive scene gets worse. So it's bad for them in some ways, but then if they don't do it, it can blow up in their face like this, and now everybody's mad at them. And it's like, why didn't you investigate? Why was he allowed to play in the tournament? And then you've got to put out a vague competitive ruling saying, oh, we found the account. But yeah, I don't know. This was probably terrible. This was probably terrible. What did he talk about this whole time? He talked about prison. He talked about Stuart. Yeah, I don't know. Forgiveness over punishment, but also I think the correct decision was to get rid of DudeManBro in this case. Hopefully, he said that it's only a phase 1 ban and that he thinks he'll be... that's not how this works. It's never one phase. It's normally a year. If you look at people like Julio and things like that, over a year, I think. for Hooley to be able to come back into the Pro League. And the same for other players who I know have been perma-banned on accounts and been allowed back in after a time. There's normally a bit of a waiting period before you can get back in. So we'll see if DudeMan's still around by the time that that ban expires. But yeah, I don't know. He's an all right player. He's an SCC caliber ADC, to be honest. Well, he's gone. But we get someone better instead. So that is what it is. Hopefully he learns, and hopefully he's working on being a better person. And hopefully we're all working on being better people, myself included. I definitely am. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Bye.